Welcome back to The Outsider's Perspective. My name's Ollie, and here's your loaf of daily bread. Today's loaf of bread comes to us by way of the psychologist William James, and he says the following. The greatest discovery of any generation is that a human can alter his life by altering his attitude. It's too bad that this has become such a cliche in our world. I remember as a kid being told this sort of stuff and rolling my eyes like, sure, okay, just changing my attitude is going to change my life. Whatever. But then that's exactly what happened to me in the year 2013. So looking back on it, I wish I had paid more attention, and I wish I had been a little bit more open-minded about this idea that your perspective shapes your reality. I mean, it's absolutely true now that I look back in hindsight, but at the time I just couldn't believe it. I was so rooted in the materialistic and superficial aspects of life that I thought this was all just a big load of bullshit. William James is right on the money. By changing your attitude, you change the way you experience the world, and your subjective experience is all that you know of the world. So, by extension, if you change your attitude, you change your world. Not necessarily the world. But then again, it doesn't really matter because all you get to experience is your world. So if you want to change that, start by going within, start by looking at your thoughts, start by questioning your beliefs. This is a big one. I brought this up at the very beginning. I think it was my second video I ever recorded. I said, my cubicle epiphany was impactful because it made me question everything. And then I talked to Greg a few years later, and his entire system begins and ends with the notion that no belief is absolutely true. And the way that you progress and navigate the psychospiritual landscape is by questioning beliefs. Well, by finding them first, because sometimes they can be tricky. Sometimes they can be buried. Sometimes they can be posing. Sometimes they can be disguised. And so the whole quest, the whole spiritual path began with me questioning all of these things that I thought were true. Questioning these definitions that I had of what it means to be successful, what it means to find the truth, what it means to be good. All of these things were up for questioning after my cubicle epiphany. The fact that happiness is not dependent on external circumstances. This was a radical new idea for me. And I didn't actually start off by questioning that. I experienced it. Clearly there was more to happiness than having a nice car, having a big house, and so on and so forth. The greatest discovery of any generation is that a human being can alter her life by altering her attitude. And this is not a recent discovery, as you know. It started way back. There have always been individuals who have gone within and who have discovered these truths. They are here for all of us to know. Nobody is barred from them. Nobody is forbidden from discovering these things. The opening is there. The door is there. You just have to open it. Unfortunately, most of us, we walk by the door every day and we never even look at it. Try to see what happens when you change your attitude. Try to see what happens when you amend your reactions, especially if you know something's coming. Oftentimes, the things that cause us to suffer are not these unpredictable and out of the blue type of events. They're things that we know are coming. And when you know something is going to happen, you can prepare yourself. You can rehearse. You can steel yourself. And more importantly, if it's something that's happened a lot of times in your life, I would recommend that you find a way to react differently to it and then see what happens, right? Because you've established a pattern, and when you break the pattern, everything that is involved in that pattern will change. So say you're always getting into arguments with your significant other about the same topic, and it always goes the same way. You say something, she says something, people get mean, turns into a fight, and you don't talk for a week, right? Maybe let's say that's the pattern. Based on William James's quote here, if you change your attitude, you will change your life. So why don't you go into that same argument with a different attitude? Why don't you react differently? Say different things, or don't say certain things, and see what happens. And I guarantee you it's going to change the entire situation. And you'll see that William James is right on the money. You changed your attitude, and it changed the entire interaction. I've seen it happen firsthand, secondhand. I've witnessed it. And it's a powerful thing. And the moment you experience it for yourself, you will know in your heart of hearts that this is absolutely true. And when you find out, please don't hesitate to come and tell me about it. I mean, the whole point of this is sharing is caring, right? All right, well, thanks a lot for taking the time out of your busy day to join me, and I hope I'll catch you on the next edition of the Daily Bread. Until then, live well.